I think this is what everyone has been asking for. So today we're going to talk about the GUI I have been using daily with Jarvis and how you can make your own. So to be perfectly honest, I did the same thing as others when learning to code. I used someone else's code, and then I added to it. For the GUI, I used the code specifically from a YouTuber named Techmodo. He has his own series on coding a virtual assistant. It's also named Jarvis, and I learned a lot from it. I'm going to link his video in the description below. I want full transparency, and I think his series is a good way to learn. He covers additions I purposely didn't put in my series. I don't remember if he uses a hot word like I do. I do know that his Jarvis doesn't use Dialogflow for any natural language AI aspects. One of his later videos in the series is discussing making a GUI for Jarvis using Pygame, which is also what I'm currently using. A GUI is a graphical user interface, and basically any visual representation used in computer programs. Now, in all honesty, what I use is more of a visual avatar of Jarvis than an actual GUI. You can't really fully interact with this. I've tinkered with various ideas displaying things like the weather or updates, but for now I keep coming back to this simplistic avatar. During my program, I reference it as his face instead of a user interface, instead of a GUI, so I hope that makes sense. The first things we need to do are install the Pygame library. So using pip, that's just pip install Pygame. Next, we need to find or make a GIF image that we want to use. Now, I found a GIF I liked on Google as a starting point. This is the one that I used right here. I think Techmodo's was this one here. There's other ones you can use. These are kind of cool. Then we need to break down the GIF into individual frames. We're going to use Pygame to animate the frames for us. You can use something like Photoshop, or do what I did and find a resource online that lets you break it down. I used easygif.com and modified it to how I wanted to. As a quick demo, here's the website. I've uploaded the GIF that I used, this blue orb. You can see here you can adjust some of the aspects of it. You can make it brighter. I decided let's add some red to it. Once this processes, we now have an angry Jarvis if you want to go for the HAL 9000 look or HAL 5000 look or whatever you want. You can also use this here to break it into frames. We're in the Python IDE. I'm going to do things a little different. This is my actual Jarvis I have on my laptop. So we're just going to kind of go over some of the aspects. First thing you need to realize, I am not a professional programmer. This is for fun. This is my thing I do on the side, like a hobby. I know, right? So I'm not the most proficient at documentation, doing it correctly. I know it works because it works, but this is very much like a quilt. Jarvis is multiple pieces sewn together and they do their function. So with that said, if you've watched some of the other videos, you might be thinking that you missed some things. We didn't cover a lot of these. A lot of these imports are actually things I've made previously. If you want, I can talk about those later, but for right now, we got our import Pygame. You also want to make sure that you have import OS path. Towards the top of the program, I have what are called global variables. We talked about these before. Up here, there is one called talking. This is a global variable that we're going to be using. In the video from Techmodo, he shows how to create a class and set up the display for your Jarvis in Pygame. You can just copy his code and it will animate the GIF image by image. So in his code, you're going to create a class, which if you're not familiar with a Python class, this is the best definition I found of it. It's basically a blueprint for an object that you're creating and you're going to use fairly often in your program. You define the init as self. This class calls on itself. You're going to create some functions. You're going to load it from the file. So this is going to automatically load that one image each time. Surface is some Pygame definitions. Puts it onto the surface of your screen. This renders the positions. If these positions don't work, it will basically find the surface area of your screen, divide them by 2 by width and length, and you will get your image in the center of your screen. This is always going to put it in the center of whatever window it is in. Surface Blitz is also Pygame for placing that image onto the screen. Whenever you blitz something, you're telling Pygame to put it on the screen for you. So that's a class you're going to be using. Then what you're going to do is you're going to initialize the display in Pygame. I put a caption that just calls it Jarvis at the top of the screen. And then you're going to set your display mode. So for Jarvis, he is 1000 pixels by 600 pixels right now. He's in a window that's resizable. If you want to have him take up the full screen wherever you're at, you can use this one here. You set the display to 00, hit pygame.fullscreen. It will make him full screen, and with the code previously, he will be centered in the middle of it. Be very careful with this code, because if you're using something that you can't get out of, you can easily get stuck with this, especially if you're using it on like Linux or Raspberry Pi. You may not be able to Alt-Tab like on Windows to get out of it to close it. There are some other ones, besides resizable and full screen. You can have no frame is one that I actually use also. Your image will have no window box around it. The only problem with that is you can't move it around. Wherever it lands, it lands. Then you're also going to create a handler, which is your image handler, which is back up here. Then you're creating a function, and you are basically taking that handler that you had before, and you are going to load every individual image that you have. So when you broke down that image before, it broke it down into 64 different JPEGs. You have 64 different JPEGs here. In one of his comments, he mentions using 2 different images to show Jarvis speaking. You simply brighten the GIF by like 15, 20%, 40%, whatever you want, and you will get a similar but noticeably different image. Take that, break that down like you did before, and you get 64 individual JPEGs. Now what I did is a little different from his code. So from here on out, this is different from his code. I renamed mine to their actual corresponding numbers, all 128 of them. The first GIF I used broke down into 64 different files, and they're named 1 through 64. Then the lighter version broke down to an additional 64 files that I labeled 101 through 164. So why did I do it this way? Well, my basic idea was to simply replace the lighter version of the images into the animation when Jarvis is talking. If during that loop Jarvis needs to speak, the corresponding lighter image can be called. This way the animation should look seamless, basically because it's the next correct frame being played. It's just a brighter version of it. So basically we make a function. We have a few variables we're going to be using. You can kind of see that here in the code here. Variable A, this is his location on the screen. This is the basically top left corner pixel, left and right on the screen. B is the location of the top left pixel up and down on the screen relative to the center. So if it's centered, we want it a little higher, we're going -5. If we want it a little lower, these would be positive numbers. X is the width that we want the image to be. Y is the length that we want that image to be. We set count to 1. We're going to use that global variable talking that we talked about before. And now we're going to have a while true loop. If talking is false, we want to make sure that that count is in that range of 1 to 65. 1 is less than 65, we're good. It's going to do the image of the count. So whatever image 1 is, it's going to render it, it's going to put it on screen at these locations, update the screen, and then it's going to sleep for 0.03 of a second. When you're rendering and breaking the animation down into pieces, it will say the time frame that it is broken down by. You match it up to this, and you should have that same speed. Now we just add count equals count plus 1. If count equals 65, which we only have 64 items, we change count to 1, and we'll loop back up. Talking is true. We want to have him say something, or look like he's saying something. We're going to use the exact corresponding numbers, but they just have 100 in front of them. And so we just add 100 to the count. We make sure the count is at least 100. If it's not, we add 100 to it. So then it goes from, say we're at 45, we're now at number 145. It's going to show that image, the brighter version. So it's going to show that bright image. Same thing, same location, same time frame. We add count plus 1 plus 1. If count gets up above 165 or 164, so 165 or so, we're going to bounce it back to the beginning. So this way he can actually be talking, we'll be animating that light version this whole time. And basically what this will do is we now have the variable talking is a trigger for the lighter version or the darker version is being shown. Now all we have to do is just create some places in our original code where we change the state of that global variable talking. I figured the best place was to include it in our speak function. So this one right here from the very first Jarvis tutorial. We simply change talking to true right before playing the audio, and then we change it back to false at the end of the function call. So we get ready to talk, we change talking to true, so we now get the bright image playing. He prints on the screen but also says his response, and then we change it right back to false. So we get that pulsating speaking look. Now all we have to do is use threading. If you saw the previous video I made, I talked about adding a scheduler thread to Jarvis, so you should be pretty familiar with that and how to use it. If not, I'll give a quick review, but basically we're going to take whatever you name this function that displays the image. I call it face A. It's a leftover from multiple attempts at other things, but his face, this is face A. We go all the way down to the bottom, and in our main function before previously we had jmain. We also had one that said scheduler. You're going to change it up. Threading 1 is jmain, which is our Jarvis main speaking function. If you're not familiar with what we did in the last one, we basically renamed our main function to a function called jmain for Jarvis main. We now make a new main function with some simple coding like t1 equals threading.thread with a target of jmain, which is our Jarvis main function. The other one we had scheduler, we can change that to this or have both. T2 equals threading.thread target of face A. So you will have the jmain function is taking in audio inputs. It's also the one that speaks out his responses. You know, it goes to Dialogflow, it checks the weather, it goes to your calendar or your scheduler or whatever you add to it. We're now having a different thread that generates this animation, and that's face A. We now have to call them. So with Pygame, you're going to call the display first. So you're going to call and initialize the display for the animation to start. This is a Pygame thing. Then I'm going to call Jarvis main, and then I'm going to start the thread for his face. And that's it. You just call the main function. And what happens is
Welcome back, sir.
So we now have our animation, and it just sits here in the standard blue orb, standby mode, waiting for you to say the hot word. When you see the hot word, it's gonna, start listening, process the request, and then it's going, whenever it says anything, it's going to change to that lighter blue image, and it should be it should blend in pretty well. Jarvis.
Yes.
Tell me the weather today.
One moment.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Stop listening.
Pausing speech recognition.
Jarvis. Jarvis.
Oh, hello, sir.
What's the weather outside?
Accessing. It currently feels like 59 outside.
Who's in charge here? He does another one. Stop listening.
Sure.
That's it for this one. I hope you were able to find this useful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And until next time, bye.